In other movie news, Jonathan Majors found guilty and immediately that day fired from Marvel.
There was rumors that he was already fired and they were just waiting for this verdict to release the news.
Sure seems that way. But am I hearing that I thought I read still full steam ahead with Kang?
I mean, I don't know. You'd have to be stupid too. I would just make it, oh yeah, Loki the tree, he's keeping him in check. Okay, now let's do X-Men.
Wouldn't want to rush into X-Men.
Yeah, well, don't want to rush that.
So I heard some people say John Boyega, and I was like, doesn't that guy get pissed off at his franchises?
Will you play the character again?
At this point, I'm cool off it.
Yeah, I think he resoundingly denied that he would ever have anything to do with Marvel or Disney again.
Yeah, sounds like things went kind of badly. Sounds like Daisy Ridley's the only one that's like game for more. Because like I just read today, Adam Driver doesn't want to come back for anything Star Wars related. No. I mean, I would not advise that he do if I were his agent. Well, just while we're on comic book news, because obviously Aquaman 2 came out and we were like, didn't that movie come out years ago and bomb already?
That's it, because all these DC leftovers keep coming out and bombing. Yeah, and when this came out, I'm like, wait, didn't this already bomb? Didn't this already do that?
I was saying yesterday, I was like, what were some times where unexpected comic book movies were really successful and why were they successful? I was thinking like the first Guardians, right? There's like really three things happen there. Really good trailer, Marvel seal of quality, because by that point they had built up the credibility that if it said Marvel, you wanted to see what they were up to. And then it had really good word of mouth. When the people who saw it, they said, go see it. You know what? I think that's like the three ingredients to a successful box office to this day. Good marketing, good trailer. You know, so you sort of demonstrate that the movie might be something you might want to watch. Good word of mouth and a company that you can trust. And a lot of these bombs just didn't have any of those things. Because we always talk about, was it this cultural force? Was it the superhero fatigue? Was it wokeness? Was it, whatever? And it's like all of those things factor into diminished credibility in the company. Trailers that don't look good. Like that is a huge piece of this. It's like, I don't know. Was anybody excited by like the Marvels trailer? And guess what? Barbie and Mario, they had all three of those things.
Oppenheimer too.
Godzilla -1.
Yeah, Godzilla -1 had good word of mouth. I mean, it didn't like have huge numbers, but the budget was so low that it was a success because it made more than its budget and then some. I think you can tell that there's good passion behind it. Like there's an exuberance behind it, where it seems like somebody cared about the project.
Even normies, you can sell them slop, but they figure it out. They figure out like, okay, none of my friends like it. There hasn't been a good one in a while, and I didn't see the trailer, or I didn't like the trailer, or I wasn't excited about the trailer. But I just wanted to say, I don't know if you saw this, just on the topic of DC, and I have to imagine that on some level, James Gunn is kind of like good. Because if they all bomb, if Flash bombs, if Aquaman bombs, at least nobody's going to demand continue with the Snyderverse. Like the reboot idea was a good one. Some people have been like, yeah, but the fact that he announced that they're rebooting has kind of doomed these projects because now people aren't as invested in them. I'm like, I think that's a pile of shit. First of all, like you can still see a movie for itself. You don't see a movie for its sequel necessarily. And two, like most people don't know what a James Gunn is. Yes, there are these alpha fans and they're very important to keeping the hype train going. But I don't think this makes it to ordinary people.
I think it helps that Snyder's Rebel Moon also is not doing like well in the public opinion.
Yeah, he's getting into like M. Night Shyamalan territory where you really can't bank on him.
And I think he's like interesting in some ways, but I don't think he should write or do a story. I think he could be a visual consultant.
But I just wanted to say that I thought this was fascinating and just adds to the confusion. Matt Reeves makes the Batman, right? He's going to make a Batman Part 2. It's supposedly Clayface is in it. That should be interesting.
And a Penguin. Isn't there a Penguin TV series too?
Yeah. And so then there's a Penguin TV series, and all of those projects are still on because they were relatively successful. And maybe James has decided that they can all kind of live in their own bubble, much like Joker. But Matt Reeves is also making an Arkham show, a series on Max called Arkham. And Arkham will be in the James Gunn universe. It's been announced.
That's confusing.
So I guess that means Arkham will not cross over with Robert Pattinson. Has anybody ever called him that, by the way? I better not be the first one. I scrolled a lot to eventually get to a Reddit that says Robert Pattinson refused to take steroids. Anyway, Battinson, or R-Bat. So he must not be in it, and Penguin must not be in it. So it must be able to live on its own. It's confusing. I'd be careful over there, James Gunn. Superman Legacy is like the only hope for the entire superhero genre at this point.
Yeah, when he did that little Twitter video where he announced everything, I was like, this is too much. I think you should just concentrate on one thing, make it a good movie, and put it out, and hope people like accept it.
Yeah, I think it really is just like they're not gonna go unless they're pretty much certain that it's going to be a good time. Whereas they would take a chance before.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.